The 3DS and Wii U online functions may be down, but even then, we can still learn from good game designs about good game design from games that were still on there, even from footage of the past. And one of the things we can learn from the good game design of some 3DS and Wii U games that we had on there was how to have a good accuracy and evasion system. So it's pretty much no secret that Pokemon's accuracy and evasion system is god awful, okay? Like, there's a good reason why the Smogon official, well, the unofficial Smogon format pretty much bans any and all evasion and accuracy plays, like Sand Attack, Minimize. You're not allowed to use them on the unofficial Smogon in singles format, and for good reason, because they don't really reward any actual skill. You just lower accuracy or boost evasion, and then half the time your opponent can't do anything about it. Well, it's in the sort of same vein as Flinch, where randomly you just don't get to play the game or do anything at all, and there's just no skill behind it because like you just don't have as much control over Pokemon's accuracy and evasion as you would in other games. Like even in official VGC, this is kind of something of a problem. Like I watched, like before making this video, I watched Moxie Boosted like play against Minimized Chansey, and like it was perfectly legal to use Minimized Chansey, but like as he noted, and many others in the comments noted, they do not have fun playing against it. It is annoying. It is not fun for them. They would rather it just not be around to deal with, especially because it just slows down the game with how Chansey works, and the minimize shenanigans only slowing things down even further. And it's not even like like with older games, like even Dragon Quest Monsters has an arguably better accuracy and evasion system than Pokemon does, and even newer indie monster collectors like Monster Sanctuary have a better way of dealing with that. And because of the accuracy and evasion system kind of being terrible, like they at least try to give you some ways to deal with it. And one of those ways they tried to at least mitigate it was the existence of Mega Pidgeot, because of how No Guard works. Like every move used by or against this Pokemon will always hit. It's like its Hurricanes will always hit, and that at least helped it because its Hurricanes would hit really hard with that 135 special attack. Now, Mega Pidgeot is actually a Pokemon I also really appreciate, because they took a low-tier trash Pokemon like Pidgeot and made it less low-tier trash by giving it something to work with. And like, but as I noted in one of my previous videos, a lot of Pokemon are victims of overlap, and even a Pokemon like that was given so many favors like Mega Pidgeot is also a victim of that overlap issue. Because even though Mega Pidgeot exists, guess what else exists? Tornadus Therian. And yeah, like yes, Tornadus Therian can run Hurricane, but like and it doesn't have No Guard. But the thing is, Rain teams are an option, and Rain has always been one of those really good weathers in Pokemon. We all, anyone that's familiar with competitive Pokemon knows that Rain is just really good. And because of how Rain works, Hurricane will always hit in Rain. So like you don't have to waste your Mega Slot to use Tornadus Therian and just dish out decently strong like Hurricanes in the Rain. And the thing about Tornadus Therian is that it's arguably better than Mega Pidgeot, not just because you don't have to use your Mega Slot, but also because you still have your item slots. You can use Heavy Duty Boots, and you can have Assault Vest, and because Regenerator is a thing. Like anything with U-turn and Regenerators, like it's just going to be good by proxy, or even Flip Turn Regenerator as proven by Alola Mola. Just being able to like pivot, come in, take a hit, pivot out, and get all your health back to take advantage of Pokemon's switching system. Just really, arguably really dumb, and not much skill behind that, because you can just go into something else to get more momentum back. So like, and like because Mega Pidgeot can't hold an item and can't run Heavy Duty Boots for one, that means it's always going to have to deal with Stealth Rock, and we all love Stealth Rock, don't we? And not only that, but like you could also argue no guard kind of can't work in its favor, especially on like even with or without rain, it's always going to have to worry about thunder. It's always going to have to worry about Stone Edge, and to some extent, it might even have to worry about Focus Blast. And that's not even the worst of it as of right now. And probably even worse about it is that, as you can see here in Scarlet and Violet, Tornadus Therian actually exists. Assuming you aren't some poor chump that can pay through the nose for the transfer scam, you don't get the luxury of transferring your Pidgey into Scarlet and Violet, and even if you could, it doesn't have its Mega. Its Mega does not exist. So it sucks to be you. And like, yes, we're getting Legend ZA, which will have Megas, but the thing is, from that stupid Blender animation of a trailer that showed no actual gameplay, we don't even know if Pidgey is in the game because like they didn't show the Pidgey line in any of that animation. And even if Pidgey was in the game and we get Mega Pidgeot back, there's no guarantee that Legends ZA is going to have online. Because the previous Legends game did not have online. Remember that? So you don't. So like, let's say both actually happen. You get the Pidgey line and Mega Pidgeot, and you get online play with Legends ZA, so you can use your Mega Pidgeot for fun online if you want to. Then good. I'd like to see that happen. I would appreciate that. More player freedom. Like, Game Freak doesn't give me much reason to have much faith that they'll do it, so I'd like to be proven wrong, because me being proven wrong in this case would be a good thing. So the reason I bring this up is because the thing about Mega Pidgeot is that in Yokai Watch 3, it technically does have an equivalent. An equivalent that kind of makes it look like a joke, like many other of Pokemon's badly designed monsters in gameplay because of the bad game design that Pokemon's battle system just has to deal with. And that would be Who-Mee. Now, Who-Mee is just a really good yokai in the competitive format. Like, its stats were pretty much designed perfectly around its skill, which in a way kind of works like Mega Pidgeot, but a lot better. See, while active, the yokai are unable to dodge, which means you don't have to worry about accuracy and evasion checks much like No Guard. And because of the 3v3 system, it even works more towards its favor because more monsters can make use of that would have low accuracy. Like with its stats spread, like bad strength, bad defense, and the bad speed. But the thing is that the bad speed actually doesn't matter. In Yokai Watch, accuracy and evasion is kind of tied to your speed stat. The faster you are, the more often you hit. The slower you are, the less often you hit. Like, normally this bad speed would be a bad thing, because like it would probably hit. Not only would it act way less, but it would be more prone to missing. But with its skill, that doesn't actually matter. It will always hit things with its powerful wind magic attacks. Coming off that insanely high spirit stat, even for an E rank. And like with Pokemon's design choices, like with the accuracy of high power moves, like there's always is that trade-off conundrum. Oh no, I have to trade power for consistency. Thunder, Thunderbolt, Fire Blaster, Flamethrower. Like here's a trade-off. All of your stuff gets to hit things without worrying about accuracy and evasion, but now your opponent does, and the trade-off is that your opponent doesn't either. Everyone gets to hit. That's the trade-off. And this skill was actually nerfed from Yokai Watch 2. They made it so that it was always active even if the monster was in the back. So now it's arguably a lot more fair because now you can and has much more nuance to it because just by switching it in and out you can decide when you want to make use of this skill. And the thing about Who-Mee is that even though Who-Mee also has a sort of a problem with its evolution that I also kind of want to go into. And that would be like, in this video by Semi-Channel or Cicada Channel, like, it's Semi-Channel in Japanese, but it roughly translates to Cicada Channel in English. We're gonna watch a competitive battle by this channel in a moment, but here's the thing about here's Who-Mee's evolution. Too much to take in English. That's what we call it in English anyway. And the prestigious treasure. This is one of those prestigious treasure things I talked about in one of my previous videos. The prestigious treasure kind of makes it so that unevolved monsters can completely overlap their evolved forms. Like here we see like an A rank buffed Who-Mee because of the prestigious treasure. Its HP and defense aren't as good as that of Too Much to Take, but that probably does that would probably matter if you were using like Shielding Soul or something. But for the most part, but like if you want to use like one of these two as an actual magic attacker, you would be better off using a Who-Mee, whom is easier to fit on teams because of its low rank. You can have it be buffed to a B rank so that you don't take up an A rank or an S rank slot. And as this video notes, where was it? Like here we see like their wind magic attacks are actually different power. With Too Much to Take's maxing out at 112, and Who-Mee's maxing out at 105. But because of the simple damage formula and how when magic attacks ignore defense calculation, like those 23 extra points in spirit that Who-Mee has at A rank through prestigious treasure, that actually makes it so Who-Mee is always going to hit harder with its wind magic attacks than Too Much to Take. And add to that fact, Who-Mee has a ultimate that actually does damage, wind magic damage, while Too Much to Take just does a debuff, just does a confusion debuff. That can be helpful on some teams, but like it depends. In most cases, you'd probably want to force the board movement or get huge damage off with Who-Mee and its high spirit stat. And the thing about that is that because Who-Mee is a low rank at E rank, that means its ultimates are going to charge really, really fast. Like way faster than you, which means you get to dish out way more high power wind magic much more often. Oh, and to add insult to injury with Mega Pidgeot, its ultimate animation is also a hurricane. So, and that's gonna add even more insult to injury with the thing about, because you can still use Too Much to Take on certain teams. Like it is overlaps pretty badly, but like not useless badly. Unlike Pokemon, which is very top heavy, because Mega Pidgeot being overlapped by Tornadus Therian is a way bigger difference in overlap than that in more cases Tornadus Therian is going to get more usage, as opposed to the difference between Who-Mee and Too Much to Take, which at least on some teams you can interchange between, depending on what you're building. And add even more insult to injury on top of that, Who-Mee is an incredibly common yokai. Like in the very early beginnings of the game, you can find this guy, like around trees and stuff in the very starting town of the of BBQ when you start as Nate. He's not hard to find. And an unevolved low rank monster is viable in the high tiers, high ladder of competitive Yokai Watch 3, which is not something you'll ever be able to say about Pidgey. Pidgey has to evolve to Pidgeot just to be less terrible, and has to have that Mega, which, as we noted, in some case, and it currently does not exist. And even in the Little Cup where you could try to use Pidgey, it's as noted on its official Smogon page in Sun and Moon where you could last use it, it's terrible. Pidgey is overlapped to hell by Doduo, Vullaby, and Rufflet. Pretty much all right there in black and white. They'll tell you just not bother with it. Oh, and let's also not forget that Arkin is part of Little Cup too, so and Arkin has always pretty much been good in Little Cup because of its stupidly high stats as an unevolved monster. So let's get into it with seeing how good Who-Mee actually is in battle against against more metagame teams with this battle footage video as shown by Semi Channel or Cicada Channel or whatever you want to call it. So as you can see on the board here, we got Lion, Originion, and Who-Mee, and in the back we got Fitwit, Magignon, and Cubot. So Cubot and Fitwit, definitely the more shielding soul defensive yokai being used here. Lion is also like, I guess you could say it's like Rattata levels of common, and yet you will also see it in high level, high meta game, high ladder meta game yokai watch because of the low rank for fast ultimate charge and double item and 2 item slots, even though it has an absolutely terrible skill that is completely useless in battle. And then you have Magignon, whom is also supporting all these low ranks. Magignon has a blanket effect skill that makes it so both sides have way faster ultimate charge. So now these low ranks with their fast ultimate charge can get their ultimates even sooner and fire off high power attacks. Like and we're gonna see this all in action. So as we can see here, against the opponent, we got Eldorago, powerful wall breaker, Originion of their own, and the ever relevant Solorenma. And and that's also another thing about Who-Mee, because it's mysterious. That means it's if you build for a mysterious unity, its wind magic attacks are gonna hit even harder. So like I guess you could say it's always like always gonna be on the level of Mega Pidgeot with at least one special attack boost at the ready if you can build for it. So we start off with the Solorenma getting its powerful magic attack and laying down that annoying hazard. Immediately going into move. And thanks to Originion being able to tough that out with its skill, it can now live on 1 HP, and we're going into the board movement to avoid that hazard. And that's actually something interesting, is that Eldorago pretty much makes it so its own attacks never miss, but since Who-Mee is there, that doesn't actually matter. And because it's not guarding, it doesn't matter either. So big damage, 137 from a wind magic attack from the Who-Mee, forcing it into 1 HP territory. Now we're going in, and now both sides are playing more defensively because of we got Cern Yoncelot, whose skill makes it so like while it's guarding, it takes less magic damage. So sort of like a Chansey in a sort of way, but more fair since it can't heal itself. And Cubot, who reduces physical attack damage on top of being incredibly bulky. Like it and it's also neutral to fire, so like it has high HP, so like it took very little from that Solorenma attack. And as you saw there, it took very little damage from Brave Unity boosted Eldorago. Like it ignored the guard, but it took very little anyway because of how its skill works. Fur coat, except on an actually bulky monster in a way. And here we go, Lion using his ultimate. And like you see that, like against the Solorenma, a few of the attacks actually missed. If the Who-Mee was out, like it pretty much wouldn't have been able to avoid any of that and would have taken even more damage from the ultimates. Which will help a lot long term, because you pretty much want to take out a Solorenma as soon as possible, because otherwise it's just going to lay it down more hazards and just hit really hard. Fitwit taking that Eldorago attack like a champ. Both their tanks going into using their offensive ultimate. Magignon with its Peerless Soul being able to shrug that off. Uh, like that, like because Origion can equip basically Machonyan's skill. Machonyan's skill makes it so it can survive on 1 HP twice. It did it once before, but even though like it got hit for like that 237, it was able to survive a second time. It's like random luck in that case. But like now that both those times are expended, it's pretty much just gonna die to the next hit. So now it's just a body on the board. Oh, and that's also why Magignon is so good. Like even the like it's not just the low ranks that can also fire off more ultimates, but it can also like get its own ultimate up sooner and fire off a powerful fire magic to cover the back row. It didn't do much there because both are guarding and like one, and of course Sproink fire attribute resistant to fire magic. And now he's trying to do something kind of cheesy, like Cubot's ultimate covers one 5 tiles, but the tiles it always covers are random, so he's basically trying to like activate it and deactivate it to try to get the tiles he wants so that he can do as much damage to as many opponents as possible. I think it's kind of dumb, but like it's a DLC privilege and like it's random luck, so I guess you could say that as more chaos and make and as Pokemon fans would put it, oh, it's random. That makes it more interesting, as they would say about random flinching and random damage rolls and competitive Pokemon, just completely negating any need for skill. He at least forces the Solar Enma to move. And it takes out the Fitwit. No, it doesn't get any of its 1 HP skill to activate. And see that another good example of how the Who-Mee would have been helpful there if it was active, because that hazard is there, you pretty much can't really risk switching the Who-Mee in. And if the Who-Mee was active, it pretty much wouldn't have been able to dodge all that and just be there surviving like the bulky thing that Sproink is. There's that double-edged sword working, or no, where he would have preferred to have it active to help against that. And another miss from the Solar because it's fast. Like Solar has a really high speed stat. Like all of its stats are high, so like that fast speed stat means it can dodge more stuff. And now it's down to the Solar the Magignon, and the Origion. Oh, and the Lion. And let's see. And Lion is fire weak, so that's probably gonna kill it. Yep, 291. It's getting really close to the wire. It's a good thing that this Solar doesn't have Red Rush Soul, otherwise it'd probably be able to finish the fight here. Powerful wind magic attack 172, and that's the game. And immediately into the next game, we see the opponent using an extremely meta team. Like he's using Dumb Cop and 2 Solar Like this guy is clearly building a team just to win. And we're playing against a low team that's built around low ranks, just spamming ultimates, and let's see how this goes. Against the equivalent of a Rattata and a Taillow or a Pidgey and a mascot Pikachu, mind you. Origion being able to survive all that thanks to its Machamyon skill. If Pokemon was so balanced that you could actually use a Rattata and a Pidgey and a mascot Pikachu and a mascot Derb, or dress up Pikachu in some way in the competitive metagame and still consistently win, that would be a good thing. Because you know, the Karen quote, truly skilled trainers try to win with their favorites. Yeah. I'm so much better than you because I know less about the game and have and choose to value shallow shallow appearances. Just make me making fun of casual players that there's so feel free to ignore me on that. Yeah, he's using Sprunk too. That's how so you definitely know he he he's there to win. Pretty much running the most meta things possible. I guess he's not moving to activate the Shielding Soul on Sprunk because he doesn't want to because he wants to save it for like avoiding low rank ultimates or something. I don't know. Like I would have expected him to move his Sprunk to like make it bulk through more stuff instead of letting it die here. And he's also running Unsheltered, another pretty meta tank and mysterious to help. Which means that if he has another mysterious in back, then he's making his solar enemies hit as hard as possible with the magic stat buff. Oh, and here we go. Here's that powerful hurricane that never misses, just like we want to see from Mega Pidgeot. Look at that damage, and the solar enemies down. Here comes the other one, and there we go. There's the other mysterious, and that's actually pretty funny. He's running too much to take, which means that if he was ever worried about his solar enemies missing, he could switch that in, and like the opponent would pretty much never be able to dodge the hazard damage or the magic attack damage from Solar Enma. Like I guess you could say like, and it's the Pokemon equivalent of Stone Edges and Fire Blasts that are never going to miss. And the Who-Mee is coming in clutch here because all the ultimate hits are connecting. Aw, poor Who-Mee. It went down there. That's one example where it would have worked against you because it was forced to take that Solar Enma ultimate hit. But it's fine because the other one's down, and all that's left are his tanks with too much to take. His mysterious unity have too much to take. Dumb Cop and Unsheltered, which aren't really the main attackers, so they can only do so much until they go down, as proven here. All those and all the hits are still connecting anyway because the too much to take being active. No avoiding this. And down. And that was five surviving teammates against an incredibly metagame team in the SSS rank ladder of Yokai Watch 3. One of many matches that speaks volumes to this game's amount of creative team building and level of balance. Anyway, I'll be sure to link the video for this down in the description. Feel free to check out Semi Channel for all their Yokai Watch 3 competitive videos since 3DS online being down. It's going to be harder to like make use of that. But as a game developer myself currently, it's important that I still look back on these and learn the good game design of them, you know? So that's all I have for today. I'll hopefully see you next video, and take care.